Playday number 10, and we got Go next against 30k, everybody. First map, Shire, as we're jumping in, and I got the good news. I asked Ultralisk as we headed into the lobby if his internet problems are finally resolved, and he confirmed. So apparently everything that happened with this internet provider has now been resolved. I don't know how exactly they did it. I know that Mopsio and a couple of others gave him tips of what kind of information the internet provider needed from them, because apparently he needed to really point them on the specifics. So yeah, finally he can play without those 3-2-3 moments, so that's awesome. And well, with that set up, we're heading into our best of 5 today. So again, this is the second part of the season. In the first part, the teams already faced off against each other and played Heroes of the Storm best of 5. And back then, 30k was able to take Go Next down with a 3-0. So we'll see if they can repeat the same result today. Now, we have a little bit of movements at the top of the standings right now. Go Next is obviously all the way down at the bottom. Well, not quite all the way down at the bottom. Then rank 7. Rank 8 is still ending for Ruby. But all the way up at the top, we still have our battle between 30k, the Donuts, and the Hardos. And the Hardos, they lost the number 1 spot just last Playday. And then reclaimed it, obviously, since they have now an additional game over 30k. But if 30k takes this one with a 3-0, they retake the number 1 position, the pole position in the standings. So it's actually a pretty nice battle that we have between the teams right now, and should be pretty cool. So we'll see if 30k can do it, but keep in mind that for them to retake that number 1 spot, they really have to shine here today. So for them, it's not only about winning, for them it's about getting a certain result so that they can establish themselves as the top dog in the standings once again. And yeah, we're going to see for the remaining few weeks probably this battle between 30k and the Hardos, and the Donuts. They obviously want to chip in too. They get that chance later on today when we have the next match coming up. As we're heading into the first game, keep in mind that Rexa is not banned out. Sonya instead has been banned. So at the top lane, we could still see the man with the mask. We got Hogga as our first pick. Great for the camps, great for everything else. So good first pick. The first pick that you would expect. Noteworthy that a lot of the supports have been banned out. And there he is. Yeah, the Batman of the Nexus. Alrighty, Rexa is in, and we get our girl Cassia as well now. Alrighty, good stuff. Okay, so what else are we getting here? We still have, I mean, honestly, for Go Next, I would expect that they come out with some kind of idea here. Maybe throw a bit of a curveball in a game, especially with Blade on the side lane. They might have something up their sleeves where they could try to get a bit cheesy. At least I would personally like that, because last time, again, they didn't take a single map, so coming in with the game plan would be kind of cool. At the same time, don't forget that now all the teams have a lot more information. When it started in the first season, or in the first half of the season, there was not really a lot that you could go on, right? So there was not a lot that you can really do to look up, hey, how does my opponent play? A lot of the teams were newly formed. Now, of course, this has all changed a little bit, because you have way more information about what kind of heroes a team likes to draft, what kind of playstyle they prefer, and other things as well, so time will tell. But we get our Malfurion, and we got Sylvanas together with it. On the ban side, Anubarak gets banned out, so that combo between Anubarak and Malfurion can't be played out. And it seems that Go Next has a similar fear, because they are banning out Stukov. Again, support bans galore. We still have plenty, but the idea here is to pretty much just ensure that there is no Rexa Misha stun into Stukov Lurking Arm. And if the main tank gets drafted and it's, for example, Varian, then you have an insane setup just for roaming the map and getting kills in. So that could be a thing here, and therefore they want to get rid of that right away. So we get Karazim instead, and our boy is back! Illidan, the man with the blindfold. We saw him recently in the series of the Hardos, and well, he is back once again, so I like that. Illidan was always fun whenever he was played, and very, very enjoyable. He has been absent for a long time in the meta, and now he's slowly being brought back again in late picks. And it's all, of course, centering around control. One of the reasons why Illidan was oftentimes not picked anymore, or why he was countered, were all the stuns that came out, the polymorphs, everything that you could do to just simply CC him. And now he is a late draft option once again, if that isn't really the case. We got the Haka in, the isolation, also the drag could really help. We have Zul on top of that too. But now the moment of truth. What's getting picked here? And also, Zul as the main tank again. If you watch the season, you know that they've been playing this quite a bit. So Wit likes to play that Zul main tank and roam the lanes and get even more wave clear in. but they have to deal with Illidan somehow. And they have a few tools, but they don't have that much. And we get a Zarya on top of it as well. Look at this, no real main tank. We have Illidan and Rexa up at the front with the Zarya to help them out. Interesting start for 30k into game number 1 of the Heroes of the Storm series. The Masters Clash doesn't disappoint everybody. We're heading into another match of the 10th Playday. So let's get things going here on Shire. Game number 1, Shire is the map. Go next against 30k, everybody. Wit on Zul, Kelvin on Sylvanas, Blade on Dehaka. We got Zero on Hogga and Skynox on Malfurion. On the right side of the map, we got X-Ray on Karazim, Dequaza on Illidan, Dino on Cassia. Did I say that already? Ultralisk on Rexa and Masquerade on Zarya. Sometimes I go through the lineups of the players which hero they play and I feel I already mentioned a certain hero or a name. Whatever it is, we're heading into game number 1 and it should be an interesting one. Illidan games were always kind of awesome to watch. Either he fails or he succeeds in style. Obviously our boy... What does Illidan need? What makes Illidan excel? First of all, you want to have a lot of space. So distance to safety is absolutely crucial for the opposing team. Meaning as long as you can hold on to your fountains and onto your walls, your forts, you are golden. You will easily be able to escape from Illidan in most cases. But once that the map opens up a little bit more, Illidan is going to chase you down. You can't run from Illidan. It's just not happening. So that's one of the things that our blindfolded boy really prefers to pull off here. But another thing is also he is kind of allergic against CC. So, to be fair, so is everybody, but still, in this case, it hit Karazim and he's down. Misha, by the way, died too. But if Illidan is later on able to just roam the map freely, not getting CC too much, a couple of cleanses around through Karazim, for example, who can put in the cleansing touch and has the triple cleanse as well, that should really enable and empower Illidan a lot. So when we're talking about 30k, late game is definitely one of the things that we're gonna watch out for. On the side of Go Next, we already have the camps now taken. They're going for the Siege Giants, they're going for the Bruiser camps, so they're taking everything that they can right now. Whereas on the right side of the map, we see a very similar picture as both of the teams are attempting to apply some pressure on the lanes, specifically the top lane. And Illidan is going for the unending hatred. Alright, I'm ready for the hatred right now. So let's see what our boy can do here. How much hatred are we gonna get? Well, at this point, starting to go straight up for the drag. They connected, and there he is. Illidan is down already. Okay, off we go. Yeah, we'll see what kind of Illidan we're gonna get today. The one that really just murders everything, or the more 50 Shades of Grey style that gets blindfolded, handcuffed, and then tortured for a while. Well, at this point, it's 2 kills to 0, and it's actually a really nice situation for Go Next. They have a lot of presence on the map now. They have also some presence at top side, but they're pushing with Sylvanas, and thanks to the camp that they still hold true to, they can maybe even get something done here. But I don't think they really expected this heavy aggression from 30k, as Illidan bounces through the portal, through the gate once again, to take Hogga down. So Hogga eliminated, and, well, that's a neat kill. The other problem is that at the bottom of the map we have the Siege Giants doing some work, and Ultralisk is sitting here and is simply hammering down on those... hello, Wit, team, Wit! Our boy's in trouble! Ultralisk has to back off because Skynox is moving in, but just imagine another Misha stun being available at that point. That could have been a bit nasty. Yeah, here he tries again, but he holds on to this. Top side, also a little bit of damage. Illidan gets attacked. Zarya immediately with the shield at the bottom of the map. He is 2v1ing this. Misha is completely going ham on the assists here. The Haka topside has now finally fallen as Illidan is pushing the lane out again, but down here he's still trying to hold on as Cassia is attempting to get the channel, but they're losing out on the bottom shrine. Topside though, Illidan is still going bananas. It's one of the things that Rich has taught the European scene back in the days of HGC. You can't let Illidan roam around the structures or he is going to rip you apart. And they are diving deep for this one. Illidan is just sitting tight, gets a bit of an assist. X-Ray is realizing that he might be in some trouble here. And is going down. Yeah, the Haka got the kill. Nicely done. And he gets the drag as well. Blade, what the hell did you eat this morning? That boy had a healthy breakfast, I can tell you that much. Well, and just as I praise him, he dies. Caster curse confirmed. Dragonite is taken, though, in the middle of the map. And oh boy, we got a party going on. A mad brawl in the game. We are off to a good start for the series, I can tell you that much. Down here, another kill, a double as both Zul and Cassia die. And the Dragonite is moving down to the bottom of the map, starting to take the minion waves down. But whew, we are in for a spicy one, apparently. Me likey. This is good shit over here. 14 stacks now for Illidan towards the unending hatred. At the bottom of the map, they're still going straight for the defense. But as you can see here, this is exactly what I highlighted a bit earlier. Yeah, the drag connects again. Blade is on point today, I gotta say. Now, Dequaza gets away in this instance, but still, that was nicely done. Bot lane, the pressure is still on. The Dragonite is doing some serious work here and has not only broken through the gate, but also ensured that the fort itself lost some hit points. Seems like Cassia is trying to bait them a little bit. Dino is sitting at the side. Not going for the stacks this time, by the way, I might add. But look at the experience lead that we now have. It's 9 kills in 5 minutes. But we nearly have level 10, and then of course the real party is going to start, and well, here it is. So with the level 10 ability, we get the Metamorphosis, we get the 7-sided strike, and it is time to rock and roll, baby. So bot side, they're going for the camp, but the rest of the team is hunting, and this is a strong 3-man. You get 2 heroes that can dive hard, and 1 that will assist them with some backline damage. And also the ults here, nicely done against Swit, the 7-sided strike connects, and that's a kill. Zul is down again. The Necromancer eliminated, Hogga is down too, and 30k is added once again. Problem for the blue team is, of course, they are just not competitive until they hit level 10. You can't fight into heroic abilities in a situation like this, and they are forced into these battles. Quest completed for Illidan. Our boy is going to start stacking a little bit more on those auto attacks, but already he's doing solid work here and is really keeping Go Next on that hose. Shockwave is in, a little bit more CC, and that's not the only thing. We got the Twilight Dream and we got the Isolation, so there's a lot more tools now against Dequaza's Illidan. But as already mentioned a bit earlier, he is going to get stronger as the game continues and space is created. But now he might be in trouble. Has to Metamorphosis out, but is able to survive, so good on him. We have also the Oldon Sylvanas that he needs to be careful about because, well, Mind Control could be one of those tools that leads eventually to the death of Illidan. So once again, they're starting to jump straight back into the middle for another fight. The drag connecting, Mind Control. Woo! The follow-up, sexy, and another kill. Make it a double, baby. Make it a triple. They want to go for Ultralisk, and he just makes it out. But that was some real nice setup that we just had a second ago from Dehaka and also Sylvanas. Check this one out. Dehaka with the drag, Sylvanas with the Mind Control. They control Karazim, they come in. Malfurion drops the ult and bam! Double kill right to your face. 6 kills to 7, level 12 versus 12.5. More action at the bottom of the map as both of the teams are aiming for the shrines here in Dragonshire. And we have an insane game on our hands. Awesome. Real fun. Seriously, guys, this is great Heroes of the Storm. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, we might have some other teams that could play on a bit of a higher level, but let's face it, when it comes to entertainment value, this game has definitely delivered. We're 7.5 minutes in, 13 kills, and it was just a full-on fight from start to finish thus far. So a good shit over here. In the middle of the map, Illidan is currently playing it out against Zero. And we get the elusive strike on level 13. Illidan with a little bit of action, completing the level 7 quest. Topside Cassia's taking control at the bottom of the map. They're trying to reclaim it too. And with the help of Zarya, Illidan is trying to do what he can. Might have to Metamorphosis out again. Mind Control, Shockwave, and bam! That's how you CC chain a hero. And they lock him down hard. Yeah, with all of that said and done, Cassia still defending the top side, but the level 13 talents are now available for both teams. And with the attempt to control both of the shrines, the goal for Go Next is clearly to get a Dragonite now. They have Hogga up at the top, and they can now roam into the middle in an attempt to lock this one in. Illidan is soon going to be back to business, but Zarya has to fall back, trying to interrupt any potential channel that could happen. And Cassia is still trying to make something work up at the top. Down here, X-Ray darting in, darting out, using his jumps as much as he can. Rexa is at the bottom of the map, attempting to reclaim the position, and he's about to be able to do that. Goes for Blade, and Blade might fall, gets body blocked as he wants to go for Rexa, can't, and that's a one-on-one kill against Dehaka. Dehaka down, Quasar at the top, diving in deep, the 7-sided strike, body blocked into it, and they're going for Sylvanas. They're trying to block her again. Kelvin is in trouble. Is he gonna make it out? Nah, he's not. Illidan, he doesn't give a shit. He jumps over the gate, jumps back out. The Dragonite has been taken and is already moving into the middle. 10 kills against 7. We have 15 levels in against 14. 23,000 damage for Zarya. Zul gets an ass kicking of the Dragonite as he is trying for the punting team. And again, the move for those forts. The top one has fallen, the one at the bottom is about to get dropped, and here in the middle, the situation doesn't look any better for Go Next. They're starting to lose ground, and they're losing it fast. The forts are all dropping, and level 16 is now in the hands of 30k, and that gives us immediately the Blades of Azeroth. On top of that, we got the thrill of the hunt and the cleansing touch as well. Malfurion goes down, and this is just a pain train headed into the heart of the blue team space. Illidan gets controlled. Oh! He jumps out with a metamorphosis. What an escape! Dehaka is dead. They're still trying to chase Hogger at the bottom. He barely makes it out. But have a quick look at this kill. Check out, or the escape. Check out Illidan here. Gets controlled with a shockwave. Then they come in. He jumps out and is able to make it back out over the wall. Quasar barely surviving the attack, and now he's back to full HP, hunting them all down. Going for Kelvin. Poison Nova comes through. They want the keep, and they're still sieging up on it. 5-kill lead currently for 30k, and they're not letting up on the attack at all. They're still going at it. Zul is down, and this is the chase, baby. Illidan is finally dead, and that might put an end to the attack. But we have to keep falling anyway. It's not the bottom of the map. They're looking for a follow-up, and they get it. Down goes Hogger. And they're trying for more. They're trying for the Dehaka now. He burrows out. Blade. The follow-up is there. They are farming them at this point. They're turning this first map into a farm simulator. 16 kills to 9. They're already looking at the core, even without Illidan. They are ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. And here comes the play for the lead in this series. Rexa has to be careful, so does X-Ray. They're coming out. Misha is overstaying just a little bit, but she barely made the stun work over here. It was not impossible to connect this one, though. Nicely done. Bear with me here for just a second, because I think that Ultralisk has a huge impact in this one as well. Misha once again at the front. An unbearable situation for the blue team gets worse as they lose Hogger again. And Misha falls too, taking one for the team here. So they took the core down to 40%, but they weren't able to finish it off. It's 10 kills against 18. 28 kills in 12 minutes. More than 2 kills per minute on the ratio. And whew, another Dragonite is up for grabs. So off we go. We have another opportunity for 30k to end it here. The blue team, of course, trying to recover. At least a little bit. Quasar is just jumping all over the place. He's a jumpy one today. And with that, we're now having another play for the camp. The Dragonite, on the other hand, that's the real problem. And they're still playing on even talents. I have no idea why they're letting this one slide. I'm actually a little bit flabbergasted that nobody is trying to make a play for it. So this is not looking too great. X-Ray and Quasar, they're already at the bottom of the map, prepping for another keep attack. And here comes the 7-sided. The mind control. X-Ray. He gets the shield and he gets out. The Dragonite and Illidan, they're already on their way towards the middle as they're trying to make this one work. And yeah, good shit. Nicely done. 30k with a great draft. They went for the Illidan aggression and it pays off for them. And that is a game, everybody. As Karazim falls, the core is about to get dropped too, and that will be the conclusion of game number 1 in this Heroes of the Storm match. The best of 5 continues with the 1-0 lead for 30k. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Well, game number 1 was a fun one. We had Illidan, we had a lot of action, a lot of aggression. It was quite enjoyable. I think it was 29 kills in total at the end of the game, and the lead goes to 30k, so they are en route to produce the same result that they had against Go Next in the first half of the season. But, well, we're not quite there yet, so we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but I gotta admit that this was a fun one. And honestly, it was like a game that for a long time was pretty much even up to the point where Go Next just broke, where you could really see the momentum swing way too much, and then it accelerated crazily. So at this point, Towers of Doom is our map, and we got Uther banned out again. Towers of Doom is an awesome map because of the comeback mechanics, but I also always feel that it's a map where you can get away with some kind of shenanigans. I want to see if they are playing Illidan at some point during this series again, if we're maybe seeing a Vikings pick on a map like Towers of Doom, if they are trying to play around globals, one of the teams. There's definitely options when you're talking about this map. You can either go for the teamfight victory, you can go for more map control and pushes. There's a lot of stuff that you can do here. And, well, we'll find out what the game plan is. Sonya gets banned again, which leaves Hogger up for grabs. Could be one of the picks. And it's a Medivh pick super early in the game. Now, that's an interesting one because they pick him in the number 1 slot instead of even waiting a little bit. So, with that, we're already looking at potential counter picks with Junkrat, Malfurion. Yeah, well, Lucia's been banned out. Mal for the roots would be nice. Could, of course, also pick any kind of stun. I mean, ETC, Nubra, Xaria with the ult. I mean, you don't want to really drop the ult on the portal. It depends a bit on what kind of fight we're talking about. If it's a huge commitment, then it's a different story. But there's the birdie. Okay, so we got some globals. And with Zarya as an early pick, you can already see where this is headed. They're looking for a great and strong 4-man again, which technically would still allow them to play the Vikings, but it's a little bit more unlikely with Volskaya as the damage dealer. Normally when you see that happen, it's more so a Vala that comes in, maybe even Jimmy, someone else. Now Volskaya can kind of play that position, but if you're playing Vikings already, you usually don't go for the birdie. So I don't think that we're going to get that. Malfurion gets taken, and so does Cassia, so we got that. And, well, I'm a little bit more curious what exactly is going to be banned out by the blue team. What are they afraid of now that they see the Zarya pick? What is like the hero that comes really to mind for them when they're seeing a Zarya? They realize that there's going to be a lot of support there. But we might also just see that Zarya in a more of a main tank role again, like we saw on the last map, which technically opens the slot up, of course. And, well, let's see. There comes a Nubarak Hogger that gets banned out. Okay. And well, let's see what else we're getting here. Because this is the real interesting part for me now. I mean, with Zarya, I like the aggression that they came through with Karazim, for example, on the last map. And of course, a lot of it came through because of Zarya in the back and Illidan at the front. It was a really aggressive lineup that could jump in. But now that they have Abathar, yeah, Karazim is definitely an option again. Getting the Abby in, having Muradin together with it, and as a support, unless they want to play Abathar solo support, which we have seen in the past, unless they want to do that, Karazim would be a great option here too. Now, Abathar, if he has to solo support this one, would still have the assist of Zarya. You also have with Muradin, a hero that has a lot of self-sustain, and Falstad has, of course, the potential to head into hammer gains and a bit more mobility on the map. So it's an interesting draft already. I kind of like what we're seeing here from 30k today, I'm not gonna lie. But they are going up against Medivh. Yeah, Vikings, and there's Arthurs. Alrighty, here we go. And the Illidan pick coming in last. So, Abathar solo support together with Zarya. Guys, this series is great. I actually really like what we're seeing here. There's like a lot of aggression, and the teams are a little bit out there today. So this is going to be an aggressive game once again. So let's head straight in. Towers of Doom is our second map in the Heroes of the Storm match at hand. Our best of 5 for the 10th Playday of the Masters Clash. Game on, everybody! Game number 2, and apparently we're in for a doozy again. So, Kelvin on the blue team is playing Cassia. We have Wit on the Lost Vikings. It's a fun one. Blade on Arthurs, Zero on Medivh, and Skynox is playing Malfurion. So an interesting lineup here. A pretty solid one. Damage being dealt by Cassia. A lot of map controllers coming in. On the right side of the map, we currently have 30k with X-Ray on Abathar. Oh yeah, baby. We got Ultralisk on Muradin. Dino is playing with the Gathering Storm here on the level 1. So against the Vikings, he might be able to get some serious stacks on this one. Dequaza playing Illidan, and Masquerade on Zarya. Alright, there's actually quite a lot to talk about because it depends a little bit on how exactly 30k plays this. A couple of people have already mentioned right away, well, they got an Arthurs and they all... Ooh, careful, Falstad. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit more cautious here. It's gonna be bye-bye birdie. But no, there is an Arthas now, of course, on the other side. There's a Cassia, so a couple of people immediately ask, hey, how do you pick Illidan into this? What's the point here? And, I mean, there's multiple things to talk about. Now, first of all, the notion that any kind of blind, being a Jojo, Lily, or Cassia, are immediate counters to Illidan's is just crap. You heard me probably talk about it in the past already. This hard counter concept that some people seem to think doesn't really exist. It's not really a thing. So you have tools against someone like Illidan, but honestly, before you go into blinds, what would be way better to deal with Illidan is if you could just simply go for stuns. Just get stuns out there, try to CC him, and get a good CC chain going, and that's your best counter against a hero like Illidan that just relies on mobility and relies also on him continuously attacking. So blinds are nice when you have them, but it's never something that you should specifically like draft for. We've seen it in the past, especially in the amateur level, where a couple of auto attackers are picked and the other team thinks they all of a sudden have to drop Lily into the mix and they're looking for Jojo. That's a sure way of how you can lose a game. So if that's the only criterion after which you choose your heroes, you're going to lose it in the long run. But of course, Illidan has to be careful now. Going into Arthas and all of this is not going to be all that easy. And that brings us to the point that I really wanted to touch upon, as Muradin dies. And that is, how is Illidan going to play this? Because Illidan doesn't have to go into these teamfights the entire time. I hinted in game number 1 already on how Rich in the days of HGC used Illidan to really show the European players that you can never leave him alone on a lane. And that's currently what we're seeing from Illidan. He's moving in at the top lane and he's trying to get some structural damage done. So for the time being, he's totally fine in that side lane position where he can just push it together with Abathur and has zero problems at all here. He doesn't have to go into these team fights, and therefore he doesn't have to go toe-to-toe with someone like Arthas at this point. And Arthas, of course, was always a nice one against Illidan because of the slow that he provides and anything else. But as you can see, they're chasing the map down. This is exactly what I hinted at when I talked about Rich and his playstyle. This is it, right here. With the help of Abathur, it's even more dangerous, and they are taking that bell tower at the top within seconds. We're 2 minutes and 40 seconds in, and we have a bell tower conversion. Now, the blue team is trying to respond in kind. Obviously, when you're drafting the Vikings, what you're trying to accomplish is you're letting the Vikings soak 2 lanes, and the 4-man is being aggressive. But they are much slower on this attack than the red team, and they will get the conversion here. But still, the red team has been pretty aggressive around it too. Now, to be fair, the bot lane is more important, as we've been explaining for ages now. Bot lane features 2 camps, 2 of the pumpkin camps, so it's definitely a little bit more important. Illidan is going for the unending hatred, and with all the kills that he's going to get against the Vikings, that's obviously something that he can easily stack. And we have a lot really going on in this game. I mean, honestly, I won't be able to touch on all of it because there's so much happening right now. First of all, yeah, Masquerade is getting killed. They're trying to use Blade on his Arthas now to walk them down. And honestly, 30k is not going to try and team fight if they don't have to. I'm not saying they're not going to take any team fights, but they're going to try and delay them, and they're going to try to pick the fights very specifically. And until then, they will roam around them a little bit. But you can already tell that at least the talents that we have are stacking heavily in their favor towards the late game. So right now, what are we talking about? We're talking about Illidan's unending hatred. We're talking about the extra damage that Muradin is going to get. He's already stacking quite nicely. Falstad against the Vikings and in this setup is getting good stacks on his level 1 and has now also chosen the Boomerang on level 7. So kind of important to point this out, since Secret Weapon, ever since the old Boomerang became baseline, has been a pretty consistent pick on the level 7 talent, but with this adjusted build on Falstad, that's a different story. So the Vikings together with Illidan, they're still getting farmed here, so our boy is going to get damage out. Zarya is of course going to help with that too, and this will be a lot about how you control the map and how you play this. And as long as you don't give a lot of big fights over to go next, keep in mind that this also means that Dino is going to have a much harder time. Sorry, not Dino, Cassia. You see, I'm already equivocating the two. He's going to have a much harder time to stack his level 1 here. Thunderstroke is currently sitting on 19, which isn't horrible by any means, but you'll see eventually that it should be a bit of a problem to stack this properly. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. And if you look at the way that this is playing out right now, you very quickly realize that this is a very different playstyle up to this point from what we've seen in game number 1, when the Illidan composition was way more aggressive, trying to roam the map and getting kills in, with Kharazim and Zarya assisting. Now he's still coming into the fight here. But don't forget that Illidan is currently not supported by a real healer anymore. So we have Abathar, and Abathar is helping, of course. And on top of that, we also have still Zarya. But there's no full-fledged support in this one any longer. And that is also why you have to adjust the playstyle a little bit. And they're doing exactly that. So it's a different comp and a different playstyle, but it's definitely a really nice setup too. And we have level 10 abilities now for the two teams, and the stacks, they keep on coming. 16 stacks already for Illidan, Metamorphosis again. Yeah, shots fired right here as they're getting the altar. And on this one, Go Next is ahead now. But here's the Hinterland Blast, nice setup. Can Illidan clean up though? That's the bigger question. They're trying for Blade at this point. You gotta be careful, there's the copy of the birdie. And top side, they're still trying to bring it back as the bell tower is getting attacked, because both teams are essentially fighting for full map control here. That's pretty much what we're talking about. Another 4 shots are being fired. They're down to 24 points against 36. But for the entire time, 30k's goal is the late game survivability. Make sure you reach the late game, control the map, gain control over it, and then just snowball the shit out of them. That's the strategy here. And they're going to try to put that off. So right now we get a little bit of damage already down here. Dino, he is stacking, as you can see. He's sitting at 46 now. 16,000 damage. He's top damage in the game already as is. But yep, it is going to be interesting. So with Fawcett going for the Hinterland against the Vikings, he might get a little bit more here. Normally you're talking about the Mighty Gust. Again, this is a bit of a different composition on how you play it. For disengage, they could use it, but every single hero that they have has disengage already as is. So what they were lacking is a bit more damage on the AoE in particular. An attempt to drop Blaze back into the death zone. But as you can see, Illidan is not letting up. And this is exactly the kind of control that we've been talking about. The 4-man is not going to be able to deal with this. Abathar isn't even helping Illidan out right now. Ah, well, as I say, he jumps in. But yeah, not as much as you would normally see. So that's another conversion. So it's 5 versus 3 now. And he is diving deep for all this stuff. So Illidan with 63,000 siege damage is already reigning supreme on this one. We have 4 kills against 1. But the bell tower at the bottom has now been taken. And you can see where this is headed. I mean, look at the minimap for just a second. It's currently 6 bell towers to 2. So all the kills that were gotten by Go Next, they just don't matter if you can't hold on to your infrastructure. And this is what's being denied to them. Now, also, Medivh, by the way, soon to be done with his baseline, so that's good for him. But we have now 23 stacks for Muradin. We have him, therefore, with a huge amount of damage already on the Sledgehammer, and that's only going to increase as the game continues. Illidan is done with his own quest as well. We got level 13 talents for them, where we get the Bronze Beard range, and there is the conversion. And that is 5 shots fired right away. So 5 shots currently fired up at the top, 31 to 24. And Illidan is back at it. That bell tower was just retaken by Go Next, and Illidan is already back at it. And he is immediately starting to go for it again. Leyline is missing over here. They're still playing around the portal. And Go Next is just trying to catch up. They need someone on Illidan duty, and it can't be the Vikings. And this is starting to be a problem. I mean, look at it. That thing was taken back not even a minute ago, and Illidan is already taking it down again. Jumps in, out, and escapes with his Metamorphosis towards the top. Easy peasy. Yeah, the blind for just a moment saved the bell tower, but he's already on the way back. Not even missing a beat. Trying to hunt the Vikings down here. And the blue team is now looking at this game and they're thinking like, hey guys, how do we deal with this now? What are we going to do here? So this one's going to be taken a second. They're trying to push the bot lane a little bit and get kills here. Up at the top, Wit is desperately trying to maybe even take that bell tower back, but even that is a stretch. Down here, as you can see, bam, there's an immediate move for the next bell tower. Yeah, Mule at the top is also helping out with this, and now we have a single bell tower for Go Next. They can't catch up. It's too much. It's just way too much what we're currently seeing over here. So yeah, definitely a little bit of a problem. Olaf goes down. There's the camp taken. Illidan is still sitting in the middle. They could now move down to the bottom, where we also have another altar starting up. And off we go. Quest completed for Medivh, so good for him. But what else can they do here? 23,000 damage by now for the birdie. 21,000 for Cassia. Illidan still guarding the middle, as you can see. And down at the bottom, we already have our little setup right there. 4 to 1. And level 15 talents on the board with level 16 kicking in next. Alright, Blade gets attacked. Yeah, gets a shield for just a moment, but they are hunting him down hard. Yeah, controlling the portal as well to make sure that he can't escape through it. Copy on Illidan is already on the left side. Quasar is dealing with those pumpkins. The Vikings are in the meantime, by the way, attempting to reclaim the bell towers. They're currently trying to go for them. And yeah, it's getting a bit dirty over here. Because the blue team, they just don't have the damage at this point. They're really struggling to kill anything, especially with Zarya helping out. And that is without even a support on the other side. So now, since there's only a single altar on the map, they're trying to go for the control here. The Vikings are, by the way, doing their best to take this back, but there's still a mule that is already attempting to prevent it too. The quest is completed for Arthur, so that's a good start. Level 16 talents aren't quite ready yet. There's the ley line against 2. Eric down, falling against the bell tower. Top side is also a bit of a problem. The Quasar has to jump out again, but Ultralisk is about to die. Pops the Avatar, needs to get out. Hinterland Blast does a bit of damage, but not nearly enough. Maybe the Gust would have been the better result here. But in comes the level 16 talent now for both of them. The Blades of Azeroth are already in play. We got the 75 stacks for Falstad. His damage output is increasing, and the same is true for Illidan, as he is stacking up hard as well. Illidan, at this point, he is reigning supreme here. We have 32,000 damage for Falstad, 20,000 for Illidan, but our boy is chasing. Bell Tower in the mid lane was reconverted, but they're still in the lead with 5 Bell Towers to 3, and it shows. And the shots are being fired right now as the red team is closing the gap a little bit more. Bam! 5 shots, 24 to 26. Top side, Falstad is also on the hunt. Not only for additional stacks, we got a double Falstad in, since once again the copy is there. And Dino, he knows how to make the birdie dance. Oh, yep. Illidan jumping out again, moving easily out. And yeah, guys, it's a game of chasing them, and they can't do anything. It's pretty much them. Honestly, at this point, 30k and Go Next, they're playing tag, and Go Next is losing. That's all I can say here. They're trying to retake the top, and they need to do something, but that, of course, immediately triggers an attack on the left side pumpkins as they're being stolen by 30k. Also, noteworthy that we have by now 32 stacks for Muradin, so his sledgehammer is hitting hard. Very hard if he YOLOs it out against structures. 81 stacks for Dino. He's getting more and more as the late game continues. The damage will increase. The same is true for Illidan, of course. He's still stacking his level 1, and he is burning these structures down super quickly at this point. Has 0 problems with it, and just retakes another bell tower single-handedly as the blue team is desperately trying to gain some kind of control at the bottom of the map. And remember when I told you at the beginning of the game that Cassia is going to have a hard time stacking? Look at her now. 48 stacks after 13 minutes. That's not really all that great. Top has been taken again. Middle has been taken again. 6-2-2. And they're fighting for the next altar. Hinterland! And barely Malfurion makes it out. Oh, well, maybe he doesn't. Oh, Quasar! Oh my god, he gets out. Like, are you joking? You gotta be kidding. He makes it out. The Vikings, they are trying to channel the altars as Medivh falls. Arthas has fallen. Here's the channel at the bottom. Oh my god. There we have one at the top. They're still contesting it. Illidan is chasing them once again. 6 shots are fired. Bam. They're taking the Vikings slowly down. But look at the escape of Illidan as we're waiting for the next altar channel out here. Check this one out. Look at Illidan. Look at him like diving into the death zone and making it out. Another 6 shots get fired. They go for broke now. Guys, they go for broke at this point. At the bot lane, they want to make sure that they're getting every single bell tower. They don't even have to go for the channel at this point. This is likely going to be game right here. More than 100 stacks for Falstad. Muradin, they're all jumping in. They want a piece of the action. And this is going to be a game at the end of the day. The shots are fired one after another. Way down here is trying to take this back. Abathur wants a piece of the action too as he's going for the channel. The barrage has started. They're holding on to the mid lane. And, well, that's a massive, massive barrage. And we're going to see the game end in just a moment. Nicely done by 30k. What an awesome series so far. I mean, honestly, what an epic, epic series. Great games. A lot of action. Shots are being fired. They're going full on YOLO. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all she wrote as 30k locks in the final shot and take the 2-0 lead in this best of 5 series. Nicely done here in Towers of Doom. Okay, game number 3. Illidan, he reigns supreme today. This is the 3rd time that Illidan was played in the Masters Clash, and he has a 100% win rate up to this point. So yeah, nicely done. At that point, what do we have? We got our Lucio ban again, we got our Uther ban, and here on Volskaya Foundry, they could go for a similar setup once more. I would not be surprised to see either Zarya or Illidan ban, just so that you ban one key component of the composition and make it a little bit more difficult for 30k to draft it, since they seem to be very determined to play around that core in this best of 5 now. And for Go Next, obviously, it's a little bit of a nuisance. This entire setup was really tough for them to beat. And the maps have been super fun. On the last map, Illidan with a completely different idea being played without a dedicated healer, but instead with Abathur so that they can roam the map and take the structures down. And despite the fact that initially, at least, Go Next was able to lock in kill after kill, it didn't really help the blue team at all, because they lost control of the map, and that is the most crucial part of Towers of Doom, and yeah, it was a problem. So right now, what do we have? We have Zarya, not banned, we have Cassia banned instead, and also our boy Tychus. Which, by the way, means that Sonya is up. Sonya has been reliably banned in both of the previous games, and she has been either an early pick or ban in every single series for the last couple of weeks, so I don't think that's going to be an exception here. There she is. Alright, Sonya gets taken, and now the question, of course, what's happening with Hogga, and they go for the Asmodan play. Alrighty, guys, so, for everybody that's a little bit confused right now, looks at this like, oh my god, what is happening, Asmodan, what? It's actually pretty simple. So normally what's being done these days when you're going for Asmodan, we already saw it twice, I think, in the Masters Clash, but the idea behind it is that you're going for demonic invasion, and you're pretty much just trying to play PvE for a big part of the game. So you're sniping structures whenever it's possible for you, and you just drop the demonic invasion on them and you push it down. And outside of that, when there's any prolonged fight over an objective, you can of course easily also use your trade, get the lanes pushed out a little bit more. We've seen Asmodan before, and honestly, after Asmodan was played, he won, and he was also then played more and more in scrims and also by the players in some of their pubby game matches. And everybody kind of expected that Asmodan would be played a little bit more on big maps in particular, and that hasn't really happened. So now seeing him here doesn't shock that much, because they are in the 2-0 lead, they are in a great position. Keep in mind, by the way, that they are trying to take back the #1 spot in the standings, so they need a 3-0 right now in order to make that happen. But Asmodan will be likely played exactly that way. You can already see, though, that the blue team is trying to respond with another Medivh composition, this time with Diablo. So the leyline into Apocalypse setup is something that they have as a possible option now for themselves. But we are likely, again, going to see a bit of a focus on macro. The only question outside of the Asmodan pick is what else are they going to do right now? What else are they going to pick to really adjust for the combo a bit? And, well, we're starting things off with Malfurion and with Tracer. Dino gets his Tracer, so already a very aggressive setup towards... I mean, Medivh is going to mitigate a lot of the ults and bombs from Tracer whenever possible, but at the same time it also means that he has to be a little more stingy with his cooldown, because if Dino plays around it, then he's in trouble. And that's, of course, one of the beautiful things, to see Dino on Tracer again, always kind of fun. One of the things that I was especially missing in the last CCL season, because on an NA server, you just can't do that. Ping is too bad. You don't get the same amount of plays there, and yeah, that was true for Zeratul, it's true for Tracer. So seeing him back on the cavalry is kind of awesome, with the best support for that hero, which is still Malfurion because of the heal over time. And we get Mephisto as well from Ultralis, so you might have already picked up on it. No tank once again. Now, before people are going completely crazy on this, keep in mind that they are 2-0 ahead against the #7 team in the standings, so obviously they're just better coordinated and have the better mechanics here too. That plays a bit of a role in what they're playing, so yeah, keep that in mind. Either way, Volskaya Foundry, game number 3, let's go at it. Game number 3, Volskaya Foundry go next against 30k, and the red team has the 2-0 lead. Match point, baby! On the left side, the blue team trying to put a point onto the scoreboard with Skynox on Brightwing, 0 on Medivh, Wit on Diablo. They're looking for the combo. Kelvin on Greymane, and Blade is playing Sonya. And over to the right side of the map, we currently got Dino on Tracer, X-Ray on Hogga, Ultralisk on Mephisto de Quasar. He's playing Asmodan, And Masquerade on Malfurion. Yeah, play a bit of a role swap going on over here too. So yeah, the big boy immediately with the attempt to get a hit against the heroes. That didn't quite work out for him. Already starting the laser show over here. But yeah, it's time to party. So let's see how quickly Quasar can stack. If the rest of the team is going to help him out on this one. Yeah, already the backline is getting attacked a little bit and they're blowing everything to pieces just as the next orb is put in. 14 stacks there for early on. And that's always what you should do if you have an Azmodan in your team. Whenever you can, help him to destroy the minion waves after the orb connected. Don't let the man stack alone. In this case, they're even roaming as a team. And, well, you can already see it happen. Everybody's just jumping in a little bit. He's at 24 now. Can easily rotate back into the middle after they take this wave down. And the next one, and even get a couple of hits in against the heroes over here, which is exactly what they're doing. The problem is the blue team is doing the same thing. And they are able to drop Malfurion. So Malf is down already. A few more minions to be taken, and they're whittling them down slowly. Azmodan, that's the problem that he has. He's a bit of a fatty. Yep, he needs to really... honestly, Azmodan, he needs cardio. He needs more than cardio. The best way to lose weight outside of just like cutting down what you eat a little bit is always to combine weight training with cardio training. It's the best thing that you can do, and Azmodan needs quite a bit of exactly that, because our boy is just a little bit too big. And it's a problem. With a hitbox like this, you are getting body blocked 6 days to Sunday and you just won't be able to get out of it. So, yep. Drop that donut and give me a couple of pull-ups and what else you can chop in there. And of course, also, at the end of the day, go for a run, my friend. Quasar down here, so far doesn't have a problem, but if they're starting to crowd him again, if that portal connect comes, the body blocks will be there, and then he has a problem. And that needs to be dealt with somehow. So Azmodan, you've been warned. Either way, with 2 kills against 0, they're already looking good. So they got the kills in. Can make their plays now, try and maybe get a bit of control. An earlier level 7 talent would, for example, be nice around the first objective. If you get the early kills in and you can really translate that into lead on talents for an objective, that might just be the one thing that gives you an advantage early on and leads to a protector that you can take. So we'll see what they can do there. Either way, we now got our Hellforged armor. The Celestial alignment is also in. And at the same time, they're moving down to the bottom of the map. I mean, rumor has it that Diablo at some point was also a little fatty and he beefed up. I mean, look at him. He's a total beefcake right now. That man is pure muscle. Not any fat on his body at all. No. And they are taking Azmodan down again. The man just can't go for a run. By the way, when we're talking about endurance sports, cycling, something that I still can heavily recommend. And since people, for some reason, have still not picked up on it, if you want to check out my second YouTube channel, it's linked in the YouTube description. And it's fully dedicated to cycling. Videos are a little bit infrequent, totally admit that. But again, there will be more in the future. And this is all about cycling, about Spain and other stuff. So, yeah, check it out. Cycling definitely one of the best sports if you are looking for something to do for your health. But either way, we now have in this game Azmodan not really doing a whole lot for his health, which is why he's now died twice already. We have Greymane trying to push this out a little bit. He's going to be our boy in the late game because he is going to chunk the hit point pool of Azmodan down pretty quickly if he gets the chance. Even going into the Wizened Duelist on level 7 now. And, well, we got level 7 talents for both of the teams. It's a bit of item control that 2 of them are looking at now. Stacks are slowly coming together for Azmodan, who's sitting at 70. But as you can see over here, is now also using the laser to burn those waves down a little bit quicker. The Master of Destruction is helping out right here. And that gives him the chance to kind of solo stack a little bit. So that's already happening. And Tracer is still chasing heroes. In this case, Blade is being chased. And getting saved. The Polymorph and Dino get slammed. Nice. Well done. Okay, that was actually pretty sweet. That was very, very awesome. That was a neat move, honestly. And I think that at this point, Tracer just thought she could get the kill before the Brightwing teleport came through. And if not for the Shield of Medivh, that would definitely have happened. So a little bit of a bait here by Go Next, but it worked out. And now it's 4 kills to 1. So, yeah, well done. Top side, that's still where we got Blade starting to control the lane. Come down here a little bit. They have the lead in experience now. We have a lead in kills, and that translates into XP. But here comes the move straight back onto the checkpoint. Still no real main tank here. Keep that in mind, but we still got that front line. Off comes Hogga. Portal is in. 112 stacks for Azmodan. He's still pushing the top, and keep in mind what I talked about during the draft. For a long time, he is going to simply play PvE. And the more time he has, the more damage he's going to do, especially after his level 10 kicks in and he has the demonic invasion. And, well, he's not joining the fun at all. No, he's taking this down, he's stacking, and you can see how he's just using the level 7 talent to get the easy stacks. They're taking down the fountain. And guys, this damage that he currently does is normally the damage that you want to do with the Protector. Like, again, keep that in mind. Tracer is not only scouting out the rotations, but is also slowing them down a little bit, so Azmodan knows exactly when he has to fall back. And again, what does a team normally get with the first Protector? Think about it for a moment. They take a wall, maybe two, and they try to drop the fountain and maybe go for a little bit of damage at the fort. Now look at the fort. The Protector hasn't even been taken yet. And already Azmodan has done more damage than the Protector usually does. Simply by 30k stalling it out on the objective. Tracer barely getting away here. The fight continues. Here comes the setup against Malf, and he's dead. Malfurion finally down a 5th kill against 30k. Azmodan is joining the fight, trying to get the action going here. He's sitting at 138 stacks. The blue team locks in the Protector, but they are about to lose the top fort. I mean, even if they are saving it now, Azmodan can simply take it later on with one of his orbs. No problem for him at all. The ults, they don't surprise. The one noteworthy is probably Leap that we're seeing here for Sonya, but even that has, of course, been played plenty in the past, in the recent one. And yep, so far, so good. Alright, what else are we going to get? They're starting to make the little move over towards the top, and, well, not really. Down at the bottom of the map, instead, the Punisher is going to start to do his thing. And, well, let's see what they can do here. There's another quick orb coming in. And with Punisher, I mean Protector. But the Protector's not really getting anything done here. I mean, they're burning it down super quickly, and so far it has maybe destroyed the bottom wall. But that's about it, so there's not really a lot of value that they've gotten out of this one. And structurally speaking, 30k is definitely ahead. They've definitely taken a lead. Also, talking about progress, let's focus on Medivh for just a moment. He's sitting at 33 stacks, so he's 7 away from completing his quest, which is going to make his life a whole lot easier. Right now, he's just supplying portals for the rest of the team, waiting for the next team fight. And Azmodan, look at it, our boys at the bottom of the map, dropped the demonic invasion, and you can already see the effect that it has. He dropped it outside of the minion wave, burned it down first, and that's half of the hit points gone. More than half. So, big damage, and just showcasing the way that they're playing this game. And I mentioned it during the draft already. He's going to try and sit on the side lanes. He's going to try to drop his ult whenever it's ready on some structures, burn them down, get the structural advantage for the team, get those catapults going, and stack his level 1 in the baseline, and then later on in the game have him more of a severe impact, not only when it comes to map control and lane control, but also when it comes to team fights in general. Now, at this point, because of the kills against them, 30k is a little bit behind in experience, so Go Next is not without a chance to run the show here, but they really need a few more kills and capitalize on the small advantages that they have. The problem is that it's really tough to deal with Azmodan now, since he's back at the bottom of the map. He's already pushing this in once again, gets the laser show going, burns that down quickly. This entire thing is just falling within seconds, and the 5 versus 4 over here is not really yielding any results for Go Next either. So they try to rotate back down, but Azmodan knew exactly when they were coming, and instead Sonya can only take the experience on the lane, which in and of itself is nice, but it doesn't really help you to control Azmodan. So that's a problem. They're already starting to go for the next camp here. A little bit of an APOC setup as they're trying to go for the big man, and he goes down again. Ah, that hitbox is massive, and you can body block him easily. There's the ley line as they're trying to get out. They got the kill against Azmodan without going for the ley line into APOC combo, so they got at least that. And, well, off we go. Let's see if they can get a second kill, but it's Diablo that's in trouble. Yeah, here comes the next one, and that is starting to become a little bit problematic here because we see more damage coming in against Brightwing, against Greymane. They get Diablo, Medivh is dead, a double kill and a big push straight through the middle of the map. Azmodan is already back, and they are doing their thing now. Taking structures all over the place, the wall destroyed, and, well, that's pretty much it right there. Alrighty, so Kelvin is sitting tight. Ultralisk was a bit low. He was trying to go for the kill, but he has to be very careful that he's not going to be taken out here either. Diablo immediately gets dropped. They're just not letting up on the attack. They're coming in and they take them time and time again. 5 kills to 6, so they're catching up in the kill count. They're still a little bit behind, but there they draw even with a quick hit right here. Nicely done. Yeah, great job. 6 kills to 6, so now we have the top pressure coming in. The level 16 talent is of course there too, and again, it builds up over time. This is the power of having Azmodan on these side lanes. Of course, you need to keep your 4-man alive while you're doing all of this. If they keep dying, then you're never going to be able to really capitalize on these advantages. And, well, that's pretty much just what it is. So at the bottom of the map, that's where we're now seeing a push happening. Azmodan is enhancing that even further with this trade. We have a little bit of a move straight through the middle where they open the wall up. Up at the top, even the keep is taking damage. They're starting to also go for the next item, which Medivh is sniffing out. He has his quest completed, but he can't really do anything here. Just having a look at the damage output, you can see that we have now 45,000 for Medivh. So good on them. And, well, what else are we getting? 130,000 siege damage for Azmodan. So, yeah, our boy is definitely doing work. Might have died 3 times, but he's still doing a lot of damage. And of course, the lane control is even more important than the damage in the damage that he brings here. The teamfight damage is only at 8,000. So, as I said, he's only going to join in the late game. You can already see him on the minimap back at the top lane, trying to go for the keep. There's the leap and the kill against Tracer, but Azmodan, he went in, couldn't drop his ult because it's still on cooldown, but he's pushing the top lane solo as the rest of the team is in the middle. Hogger, of course, has also a lot of wave clear that he can provide, and, well, that's exactly what he did and does. So the next camp is getting attacked as well. They're trying to get a few more items together. Azmodan had his his ult back up, and that is the first keep of the game. Nobody went for the second objective, by the way. This one has been sitting there for quite some time now, and nobody gives a fuck. That shows you once again why Volskaya Foundry is generally not really the most popular map. In this case, they just wanted to play a map that is big enough, but the objective doesn't even matter all that much, and, well, Volskaya is perfect for that, but it is obviously a bit problematic that you can pretty much simply win the entire map without even going for the objective at all. That's one of the main reasons why we also had issues with other maps in the past, but yeah. 16 versus 16 talents, 8 kills to 7. Oh, they're making a play for Hogger. They're diving in deep for this one. And the shockwave, X-ray is safe. Greymane is down. They're going for the kills. They're trying to lock another one in. And here we go. Hogger dies, but everybody's low. Blade is the next one to fall. Sonya is dead, so is Medivh, and Dino is the cleanup crew. He's moving in and he's taking out the trash here. Cleaning house as they're going for the 5-man wipe. And this is, of course, just an invitation to, if not end the game, then at least take the next keep here, and probably all of the keeps. I don't think they can go for the core, and they're not even trying. They're instead attempting to take down the keep in the middle, and at the bottom of the map, Mephisto is now doing some serious work too, as he's trying to take this one out as well. Either way, they're going to succeed in getting more catapults pushed onto the lanes. Azmodan is back on the map and is immediately using the trade here, and the keep in the mid lane, as predicted, falls, and at the bottom we're seeing the same picture unfold right in front of us. Level 20 talents have now also been claimed. We have a 3-kill lead for 30k as they are slowly but steadily making their way towards that 3-0 victory in the series, which will put them into the #1 spot of the standings again. They will only be slightly ahead of the Hardos, but it's still a lead. So, yep, they want that #1 spot and they are gonna get it back. It's going to be fantastic to see the Hardos and 30k fight over that pole position for the remainder of the season. Honestly, it's going to be great. And especially since the Donuts are also going to attempt to chip in. And they're not out of the run just yet. Look at Azmodan, by the way. He's already sitting at the side here. He's trying to make the play, as the rest of the team is fighting up at the top. Azmodan is on the move. Brightwing just jumped into the team fight. And while these guys are fighting, Azmodan, our boy, he goes for it. He goes for the core right here. Hogger is dead. Greymane is dead as well. They're trying to get the kill against Blade. Ooh, nice connect against Brightwing. The core is falling as we speak, so is Sonya, she's dead too, and while these guys are still fighting it out, Azmodan is ending their game. Kill after kill is coming in here, but Azmodan is already on the core as mentioned, escorted a minion wave through with catapult support, and that is a 3-0 victory with 25 kills in game number 3 for 30k as they claim the #1 spot in the standings at the Master Clash. GG and well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.